welcome back to my YouTube channel, hashtag MovieBae. I am MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be recapping and reviewing episodes 3 and 4 of The Flavor of Love. But before we get into it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television, and if that is the type of content that you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. Now let's go ahead and get into episode 3, entitled A Friend of Flav's is a Friend of Mine. Now we get this scene where Hottie is admitting to Red Oyster and others that she would go to the lengths of hiding clothes and cutting up clothes in order to destroy her competition. Well, it's time for the Flavogram. The Flavogram says that there's going to be 2 dates, okay? The first date will consist of 5 girls: Sweetie, New York, Red Oyster, Hottie, and Peaches. And it just says that they need to get dressed and be prepared to meet some old friends of Flav's. So, of course, all the girls are excited. They're running around the house, getting dressed, finding their best outfits because they're thinking that Flav's old friends will be President Clinton, Madonna, Chuck D, Shaquille O'Neal, like Public Enemy. I was like, I don't think so. Y'all really think y'all about to meet Madonna? Y'all really think y'all about to meet President Clinton? Okay. Well, because this show is a parody in itself, of course, the old friends that Flav took the girls to go meet were some random old people from the senior citizens home. Now, Flav says that he is bringing them here to see because he wants someone who can care for him during his golden years. And I'm thinking, yep, because you're almost there. Now, of course, the girls didn't know they were going to the senior citizen home. So when they hopped out the limo dressed like this, oh, they were turning heads. Y'all, why does Sweetie have one pant leg and one short leg? Like, y'all know fashion repeats itself, right? I could have bet on my life that the early 2000s fashion trends were never going to get repeated. But nope, some of that stuff is definitely coming back in style. Look, y'all, she has a name belt. I never got a name belt. I'm still salty about that. So anyways, at the nursing home, the girls are doing tasks like dancing, playing games with the senior citizens, and then it kind of gets to the more of the disgusting side with the rubbing feet, and one lady asked New York if she can put in her false teeth for her. Now, because it's a competition, New York agrees, but she honestly couldn't even do the task without gagging, so she walks out for a smoke break. Look at her face. Now, Sweetie, on the other hand, went right to that same lady and helped her put her dentures in her mouth. Could it be me? Now, because of this selfless act, Sweetie is actually the winner of this challenge. I do also want to highlight that there was a girl named Peaches. I think she's like one of the only white girls left. And she was rubbing, old people's feet and being very helpful to them too, but she was overlooked in this challenge. Now, Flav says that he's going to take Sweetie to one of the best restaurants, a spot so hot you'll forget it not. And we flash to Red Lobster. I've honestly never been to Red Lobster, but I feel like Red Lobster and Pappadeaux are like on the same level. Back in the day, it did used to be really, really like, affordable, bougie. But these days, I see people in pajamas at Pappadeaux. Like, yeah, we need to get it together as a culture. Now, on this day, in between Flav tearing up these crab legs, okay, Flav asked Sweetie, how long will it take for him to taste her mouth? I was like, why did you phrase the question like that? Couldn't you just ask, is it okay if I kiss you? Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, Sweetie's reply was 3 more weeks. Flav made this face like, bitch, what? Because they've only been in the house for 1 week. So Flav is like, it'll take a whole month for a guy just to kiss you. And Sweetie plays this image of she's a good girl and she doesn't move that fast. And Flav's like, well, yeah, but I don't want you to move that slow either. Now, we all know why Sweetie didn't want to kiss. I keep wanting to call her Sweetie, y'all. Oh, my God. But we all know why Sweetie didn't want to kiss Flav. It's because she's not attracted to him. Like, half of these women are not attracted to him. So Flav said something that I feel like all guys like believe in. He says, I like a girl that's a challenge, but I also like a girl that's not a challenge. Now, after the date, Sweetie does admit that she is more attracted to Flav because she thought that he was just this goofball clown type guy, but he has a more serious side to him, so she's interested in continuing to get to know him. Meanwhile, back at the house, the girls had been going through Sirius's magazines because she walks around with her magazines that she's been in and her portfolio. So this rhetoric that Sirius is here only to promote her modeling career is starting to get around the house. Now, New York. New York is missing a jacket, okay? And because Hottie admitted to hiding and cutting up people's clothing, New York immediately assumes that Hottie has her jacket and she's going to confront her about it. Now, real quick, New York is putting Vaseline on her weave. I didn't wear weave in 2006, so is this like a trick to keep your hair down, or is she purposely trying to make that shit shiny? Like, why is she putting Vaseline in her weave? So New York goes up to Hottie and she confronts her about her missing jacket. And Hottie is like, look, if I took her jacket, I would tell her that I took your jacket, I threw it in the street, and I drove over it with my car. New York is still going at it with Hottie. She's like, you know what? I might be, but everybody knows I'm up to you. On the other hand, you try to act like you're not. And Hottie just comes out of the blue and says, you're just mad because all of my friends say that I look like Beyonce. And this is where we get that infamous Beyonce. You know what you really look like? You look like Luther Vandross. And when she said it, I can't unsee it, bro. Luther Vandross. Beyonce. Bro, I can't unsee it. Literally, New York has a meme or a gif in every single episode of something that she is saying or doing, bro. Like, this lady is epic. So the next day, it's time for challenge number 2. And the remaining 5 girls, Hoops, Sirius, Pumpkin, Goldie, and Smiley, are going to throw a bash for some of Flav's buddies. And I'm pretty sure that they told the first group of girls not to tell the second group of girls what the date entails, because that's gonna spoil it. However, before they can even get out the door, New York throws a fit that she is not going on this date, and everybody is like, here's New York crying and complaining again. But she admits to Red Oyster that she loves him, and Red Oyster says, I really believe that this girl is falling in love with him. Either that or she's a very good actress. Now, when they finally get out the door, the girls find out that they are throwing a birthday bash for a little kid. So, of course, once again, they are not dressed appropriately. Says that he wants a girl that is good with kids because he has 6 children and he wants 4 more before he dies. Spoiler alert, he only had 1 more child after this show has been filmed. Now, there's this lady and she's giving out all these rules and a strict schedule for a birthday party. And I'm like, who has a strict schedule for a kid's birthday party? Like, egg tosses between 1 and 1:10, and then at 1:12 we are going to be cutting cake, and then by 1:15 we're going to be eating ice cream. It's like, girl, that is not how kids parties go. Quit playing. But anyhow, the girls have tasks like cleaning up these cracked eggs from the egg toss, handling crying toddlers, and one kid even vomits on Goldie. But Goldie wasn't even tripping. She kind of looked at it as her karma from throwing up the first night. Now, after the challenge is over, Flav says that Pumpkin was the most distant from the kids. And this is when we get her whole spiel where she's so upset because I'm a substitute teacher and a cheerleading coach. Like, all I do is deal with kids all day. Oh my God. My occupation, I deal with kids all day. Okay? But if you put me in front of some random kids I don't know, I promise you I'm not going to just adapt. Like, it's completely possible to work with kids, but then not be a children's person. That sounds so bad. One girl that was good with the kids was Sirius, and she is the winner for this date. Now, back at the house, Sweetie asked if any of the girls would have a nightcap with Flav if he asked so. And they say yes, like without a question. So now she is second guessing her comments that she made over dinner about having to wait 3 more weeks in order to get a kiss from her. Now, back at the house, Pumpkin is still upset because she's a substitute teacher and a cheerleading coach, and she is good with kids, and she wants Flav to know that. So later on in the episode, she does talk to Flav about it. He was like, that's just what it seemed on the cameras, and then she gives him a kiss, and then he forgets about how bad she is with children. Now, in this episode, we get the first banter between New York and Hoops. New York asks if Hoops is good with kids because Hoops came in looking exhausted after the date. And then they basically argue over how Hoops replied. Like, Hoops was like, I'm good. And New York was like, well, I only asked you one time. And then Hoops threatened to throw the basketball at her face. The smallest things New York says and does really gets under these girls' skin. Now it's time for Sirius and Flav to go on their date, and their date is in the backyard. They're having dinner in the backyard, and Flav asks if she is attracted to him, and she says that, I think I'm already a little bit attracted to you, kind of, like, pretty much. Girl, that answer did not seem sure or positive or serious whatsoever. She also mentions during this date that she is a model and she brought her portfolio for him to look through just because she wanted to be able to back up what she's actually talking about. And Flav, at the end of his date, he feels that Sirius isn't really connecting with him like he wants her to be connecting with him. After this day, Red Oyster goes to Flav, says that she is reporting for duty. And she also shares with him that she thinks that Sirius is here just to promote her modeling career, and Flav actually concurs to this statement. Now it's time for elimination, and the first clock goes to Red Oyster because that girl is doing her job. Now, the bottom 3 for this episode is between Hoops, Peaches, who rubbed old girl's feet twice, as she's put it, and Sirius. Now, Flav only has 1 clock left, meaning that 2 girls are going to go home tonight. And Hoops does indeed get the last clock. I just feel like it's so funny how someone who's going to go far in this competition, no spoiler, going to go far in this competition, was almost eliminated by episode 3. But I understand why Flav eliminated Sirius, because this whole episode or this whole week, it was just about her modeling. And even if you are here with an agenda, like Sirius said, everybody came in with their agendas and motives. They're not promoting it as much as she's promoting it, which is why she had to go home. Now, this girl named Peaches, I honestly genuinely wish that Flav had kept her around because she seemed to really like him, like as a person, you know what I'm saying? Like a genuine connection. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not done yet. That's just episode 3. So if you're enjoying my commentary, don't forget to give me a thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's go ahead and get into episode 4. Now, Flav wakes the girls up early in the morning. It is 7 o'clock, and because his mom is in town and they are going to church. So they have 30 minutes to find something that is appropriate to wear to church. Now, when we get there, Black Church is in full effect. They're singing this song. I don't know if it's called Joy or not, but that's what they're saying. It's like, joy, 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 joy. They are going off, okay? Like, if you go into any Black church and they singing that song, you can know for a fact everybody gonna be up on their feet catching the ghost, okay? Now, Oyster, meanwhile, is trying so hard to catch the beat, y'all. She's trying, and I can really appreciate that. Now, during the sermon, everybody is getting touched in their own particular way. Goldie is crying, Smiley is crying, but New York is sitting there pouting because she had to rush and get dressed and she feels like she looks a mess. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's kind of me. After church, the girls and Flav's mom, Mama Drayton, they go to a tea room, so she's gonna have her speed dates with the girls. Now, Hoops and Hottie make a good impression. New York admits that she's in love with Flav, and then we get to Sweetie. Now, Sweetie is trying too hard to impress Flav's mom. She's like laughing super hard, saying that she had a record deal and she has a little bit of Flav in her too. And his mom just isn't feeling this. So Mama Drayton tells this to Flav. Now later on that night, Flav decides that he's going to have mini dates with each of the girls, 1 hour each, starting from 7 p.m. all the way to 3 a.m. And I'm thinking, if I'm the girl with the 3 a.m. date, please believe I'm going to miss that date. I'm going to be asleep. Now on these dates, I'm only going to talk about a couple people. Ivy. Hoops starts to make her move. Now, we all know that Hoops was almost eliminated last episode, so she knew that she had to step it up or she was going to be going home. So she is hugging on Flav, saying that she wants to get to know him and things like that, okay? Now, someone else who decided to step up their game is Sweetie. Earlier in this episode, Sweetie stated that she's going to be quote unquote fake like New York. So when she goes on her date with Flav, she jumps on his lap and she's like all up on him, and excuse me, I can't recall if she's like kissing him on the cheek or not, but she is being more like physical with him. And he gets the impression like, yo, like, where's my Sweetie? Because Sweetie has presented this image that she's this good girl, and now you jumping on my lap? So he lets her know real recognize real, and I just want you to be real with me. All right. So not only did Flav's mom put the bug in his ear that this girl is kind of desperate, now you come with a whole different type of energy. He's like, it's giving that you faking. Now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and Smiley is the last girl to have her date, but Smiley's asleep, understandably. So Flav goes to his room, changes his clothes, and I ain't gonna hold y'all, Flav look a little bit good right here. Okay, let's keep going. So then he hears a knock at his door, and who is it? Hoops and Pumpkin, and they came for a nightcap. Now, you know, Hoops had to bring Pumpkin, someone who is more sexual than her, to go on this little nightcap date. But they weren't the only ones that had this in mind. So while they're cuddling up to Flav, New York is making her way down the hallway because she wants to do the exact same thing. But when she gets there, they're asleep. But is New York going to leave? No. She's going to sit on the couch, smoke her cigarette, and then she's going to lay on the edge of the bed with his holding his hand while she falls asleep. That girl said, they're sluts and whores. But you came in with the lingerie ready to do your thing. Okay, New York. The next morning, Flav gets the girls and they all meet at the pool and they're just kicking and hanging out. Now, Flav is feeling hottie, like she looks good and his mom approves. So he asks about her body measurements because y'all know she got these big old boobs. And she says her measurements are 34, 26, 36. And Red Oyster is like, that's a 26? Because this is a 26. And I'm like, yes, because I am a 27. I know you're not smaller than me, sis. And everybody's just looking like, this bitch lying. Here's the problem. I don't know why Heidi is lying about these measurements, because she has a banging body and she's carrying it well. So I don't know why she just got to just be making up stuff. Like, this girl is tripping. Now, Flav announces that they will have another challenge tonight, and this is the fried chicken challenge, y'all. Whoever makes the best fried chicken, and gives it to him and his mom will go on a date with them later on that night. Now, Sweetie has an issue with this because when she was a child, her grandparents owned a farm. She got attacked by a rooster, and then her grandma cut the rooster up in front of her and then prepared it for dinner. Okay, so she is terrified by whole chicken. And I feel like they probably did this because you could fry chicken without having to, you know, cut each individual piece of the chicken, like from a whole chicken off. Like, I feel like they gave them whole chickens because they knew this fear of hers. That's a good TV moment. Now, Sweetie is breaking down, but she's getting through it. Like, she's doing the challenge. And Heidi, on the other hand, asks if she can cater. No, that's against the rules. However, we should have let Heidi cater because y'all know that girl put a whole raw chicken in the microwave and pressed the chicken button thinking that it was going to cook the chicken. Now, when it's time to present the dishes, they are anonymous. Some are overcooked and others are undercooked, like Heidi's. When I tell y'all, Flav's mom eyes almost popped out of her head when that top came off of that pan. And Heidi just looking around like, oh my God, whose chicken is this? It's yours. It's yours, sis. Now, the top two people are dishes 1 and 2, which is Hoops and Sweetie, but Hoops is the winner. And Hoops goes on a date with him and his mom and continues to follow up on this good impression. Now it's time for elimination. And look at these outfits, y'all. Isn't this what y'all came here for? Isn't this what y'all came here for? Anyhow, clocks are being handed out. In the bottom two, this episode is between Sweetie and Hottie with 1 clock left. All the girls want Hottie to go home. All the girls want Hottie to go home. But Hottie ends up getting that last clock, and Sweetie goes off on Flav. Says the girl that he's eliminating, he feels like she just doesn't feel him. And with him stating that, she goes into her rant. She was like, you have girls here that are presenting chicken in front of your mother uncooked, and you say that I'm not feeling you. I stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning for my date with you, and other people fell asleep, and you say that I'm not feeling you. She said people are reflections of themselves or something like that. She was like, so maybe you're not feeling yourself. And he's like, no, I'm just not feeling you. And I'm like, bro, be honest. Be honest. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you tried to put it on her. Like, I don't think you're feeling me. And now you switched it around and say, I'm not feeling you. That's what guys be doing, y'all. Anyways, Flavor Flav said the way that Sweetie left was whack, but Flavor Flav looks forward and not looks back. They toast and the episode goes off. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Be sure y'all hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for more retro reviews just like this. Don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my commentary, and of course leave your comment down below off of episodes 3 or 4 or just Flavor of Love in general. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.